Hey Larry, this is Katrina from Atlanta. How you doing?
Katrina from Atlanta. What's going on, girl?
Oh, nothing much, but I did get a property under contract and I received two properties this week. So that's my win.
Look at that pipeline building every single week, right? Over and over and over again. I absolutely love it. Congratulations. Your sister, wake up. I had a great conversation with her. Did she was like, and I was like, why are you not partnered with your sister? Has she woken up yet?
Yes, she has. She's in the process now, getting all her paperwork together.
Love it. Love to see your team grow, your business grow, etc. Great win to start things off. Who has the second win for us?
Hello.
Hello. Talk to me, Kristen.
Hi. I became an EXP certified mentor this week. So that's one. And my listing is active and we're doing open houses this weekend.
Good deal. Congratulations on that accomplishment. And I mean, I think that you're going to add a lot of value to new agents coming into the market that need to learn. So I love everything that you're doing up there, and I could not think of a better mentor. So congratulations on that.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the third and final win for the week. Who got it?
Hey Larry, I can go. Hi,
Talk to
Robbie
me.
here.
Yeah, Robbie, talk to
Uh,
me.
I achieved my icon status. Just got an email yesterday for my first year in full production.
Awesome.
Congratulations, man.
And thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
Nice.
Man, I can't imagine the amount of production that this man does as a part, like he has another full-time job. Like, I don't know how you do it all, man, but I am so thrilled to have you alongside, and congratulations, man. That is that
Thank
is
you, Larry.
a really cool accomplishment. I mean, just for the stock and everything else, like what that does for your family and stuff down the road. So congratulations, sir. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, some great wins to start things off. Love to hear the progress, love to hear the growth and stuff for everybody. Guys, I am so excited for today's call, and obviously a lot of other people are as well, since we're approaching 60 folks here today on today's call. But Wendy Keefe, how are you doing this morning? Our guest of honor here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I love the pit bull because I coach 5 a.m. CrossFit classes and I'm always putting in pit bull. So that's funny that you put that in. It was
Well,
perfect.
sometimes it's just meant to be,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes
Yeah.
it's meant to be. And those of you, this was the hardest guest I've ever had to work for, just so you guys know. I've been trying to get her on here for years. I'm like, Wendy, please, what do I talk about? Like, just tell your story, Wendy, because that is so impressive. So, Wendy and I have been colleagues and been in the same industry. I mean, for like since I've been in real estate, I've known of Wendy Keith. And what she has put together here, I mean, has been pretty amazing in the REO and default space. And it would be amazing in any business aspect. But just to give everybody a little aspect, I'm your biggest fan, but who is Wendy Keith? Like, what? Tell us about your real estate journey because it really wasn't typical, right?
Yeah.
And tell us kind of what's got you and what you've been building for, man, the last
Oh
22
my goodness.
years now, right? Which sounds
Yeah.
weird to say.
Yeah, you're sweet to say all that because I love what I do. So I don't think of it as, hard work because I'm very, very blessed and thrilled of what I do. My background actually is in the fitness industry and sales and marketing, and then my degree was in theater. But I've always enjoyed marketing and sales. And I first was hired. Clear Capital is the sister company to REO Network. I don't know if everybody knows that. And originally it was called BPO Tracker. If some of you, Jeff Russell saying yes, he remembers. Originally it was called Shauna. Yeah, some of you remember it was called BPO Tracker, and I was hired. And about a year before BPO Tracker started, Dwayne Andrews, I don't know if you guys, some of you have been in the industry a long time, started REO Network because he was an REO broker and banks kept asking him, do you know anybody in such and such area? Do you know anybody in such and such area? And realized that there wasn't a tool out there to help asset managers find good screened REO brokers. And so he created REO Network. And what's funny is we got, this list of brokers and agents, and then the bank started asking him, hey, could you send out BPO requests? And what's funny, he was like, no, no. But then he started doing that, and which is how BPO Tracker started. And then BPO Tracker started doing like appraisals, property inspections. So they changed the name to Clear Capital. And early on, I kind of took over REO Network side. And I love that I get to promote brokers and agents all over the United States, and do different things like this, go to conferences, reach out to asset management companies. So it just kind of organically happened that way. So, and a lot of you I've known almost these whole 22 years on here. It's
She's
funny.
not calling you old Jeff, Robert.
No,
Like, she's not doing that. Don't take offense to that, guy. She's not calling you guys old or anything. All right.
nope, no. We were always the ones that could stay up till 2, 3 in the morning, then be at the conferences, and then be back in the booth at 7 a.m. and be looking fresh as a daisy. But I can't do that anymore. So
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So you've been a part. Was it 2002 that the REO network Is that when the REO network was born in 2002?
it was about 2000, the year 2000. Then I took over about 2002, and really started getting more good REO brokers on it, trying everything I can to get more asset managers on the site. And since it was one of the first REO directories on the internet, it was very well used and very well known in the REO industry. Even what's nice about asset managers, if they kind of move from place to place, which sometimes they do a lot, they tend to keep going back to REO Network to
Wow.
find brokers and agents to work with.
Absolutely love it. And yeah, if you think, guys, if you think about when the REO network was created, right? Like, internet was just coming onto the
Yeah,
scene. Like, at that point, you could market and advertise a property. You had websites that were getting thousands of leads a month without paying for it, right? Because there was just a limited amount. And so, yes, the timing was absolutely
right,
perfect for that opportunity.
right.
And so you wanted to create this network for agents and brokers and BPOs alike to kind of come together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, after 22 years, what does that look like now? How has that transitioned? What's the size of this network? Do you have any idea, like, how many asset managers and stuff use your site or anything?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's free for any asset manager, hedge fund, investment company, credit union to search REO Network. So they basically go to the site, type in a zip code where they need an REO broker in, and it pulls up the brokers and agents that we've pre-screened. We do look for some REO experience, and it'll give, we do have members that do pay to be at the top, which is called our premium partners. And then there's a free membership. Everybody has a mileage next to their name. So, oh, there you go. Cool. Thank you. So they can see how far away they are from there. So I do have to go kind of by what REO brokers are telling me who they get calls from. So, different companies like Apex Bank. First, someone just told me they got a listing from First Citizens Bank from being on there. I am noticing recently it is more of a trend of investment companies, hedge funds that are kind of selling off some of their properties, because the names I'm hearing from brokers and agents when I go look for them, they seem to be these investment companies that are selling off some of their properties. So that's the trend I'm kind of noticing right now. And probably all of us are kind of noticing that more and more of these types of companies getting into the REO side of things.
Yeah, and so let me ask you some questions, right? Because I always want people to leave here with some sort of value, something
Yeah.
that they can take back. I do want to dig into more of the REO network, where the opportunities are. I want to talk about the free versus paid, and maybe if you have some examples, you can start thinking of those, of some success stories that have came from that. But with as long as you have been in the market, right? You've seen a few cycles at this point in time that have come and gone. And I believe that we're in the midst of another cycle. It's just different, right? Like, so it
Right.
won't look exactly like 2007, 8, 9, 10, whatever. But a lot of times it rhymes. And I agree with you. These institutional funds is the next REO space because 80% of homes that sold last year had over 20% equity.
Mhm.
They may not make it back to the banks because investors are buying them on the courthouse steps,
Mhm.
right? Because of the lack of inventory on the market. So I 100% fully agree. What are some things like, so you said that's the biggest opportunity.
Mhm.
Like, how do agents start positioning for
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Um, that's a great question, Larry. I really think that the way you present yourself on your REO network profile, or actually anything that you're signed up for on Equator, ResNet, any other site, you have to put a little time to craft a really good profile and biography on there. It's kind of like a dating site. I mean, you got to make that love connection between you and that asset manager. And I know when and I'll use the word asset manager, but I kind of mean, you know, all hedge funds and anybody looking to sell a property. When asset managers go on REO Network, and I don't want to push, you know, the paid things. I know you guys pay for a lot of stuff, but they do tend to go those ones that work at the top, and those are the paid ones. But the profile makes a big difference. Even if you didn't do the paid version, you want to make sure you have a well-crafted REO profile on there. And, you know, some things like, you know, what are some companies that you've listed for in the past? Asset managers like to see that. And since hedge funds are a big thing right now, if you are listing for hedge funds and investment companies, make sure that's mentioned on there. And you have to word that in a careful way. You can't word it in a way of, I have investors, or never mention that you're an investor. You won't get a call for that. But they, Jeff, you're sweet. um, um, they, so you have to word it in a way that I have listed for hedge funds, investment companies, because you know how to get them to the most amount of return on that property. So that's something that you want to make sure on there. I'm also noticing that these companies are really looking for people that have their own contractors, property preservation. So definitely mention that on the biography if you have those things on hand. If you need those, I don't know if you guys know that REO Network has vendors on there. We have some contractors, property preservation, even some title companies and attorney, but the contractors are actually one of our biggest signups right now, and they want work. So you just do a search the same way on REO Network. On the search results, it'll show you under the map a list of investors. I'm sorry, a list of vendors on there. So they want you to have that. So you got to be ready with those types of things. Some other things on profiles, you know, you want to make sure that if you're listed on, you know, ResNet, Equator, Pyramid, Acceleris, put those on there. What's your REO marketing like? Do you do some, you know, extra social media stuff,
That is
video?
one of the biggest things that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
Like we do, I mean, my bride took 71 assignments from these institutional clients in January.
Wow.
But one of the things is we do video tours, we do professional photography, right? Like things that traditional REO agents like, right? They're like, oh, I took some pictures, right? And they're like, you see them in the mirror and stuff like that. Like, this is your time to shine, guys.
Yeah.
Like, these are not REO. These folks want to get the highest value. There's a lot of rehab that's been done. They've been lived in and stuff like that. Now they're vacant. And like they're looking to get a return on their investment.
Mm-hmm.
Like what sets you apart from the competition is
Right.
what needs to go in your profile. And I
Right.
see quite a few people that have been on your network for a long time and talking about the success and stuff that they've got from it as well. So thank you for putting this together. So
Yeah. Yeah. And
so
you want to make sure it's updated too, because you know what a few people have done on REO Network, they've actually wrote the date on when they updated the profile. Because the only downside of that is you got to really stay on top of that. Because if it says, you know, I updated this in 2004 and it still says what was it, Rio Trans on there, then
right.
it needs to be updated. But
Oh, I went to Rio Mac, right?
yeah, yeah. So things like that. So make sure that it's updated. One other thing is the first phone number on the profile needs to be the one that reaches you the best. I just find that on my particular site, now I don't know about others, but that asset managers tend to call more than email because they're kind of testing you. Are
Sure.
you answering the phone? And Larry, you probably hear this too. Answering the phone calls is probably the number one complaint that I hear. And and it's hard because I know, I mean, we got to sleep sometimes and we got to use the restroom and whatever, and it'll be that one time that you do those things that you'll miss that call. So, but you have to kind of portray that I am always available 24 hours a day. Or even, even if they have to leave a message, calling them back within minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
And keep in mind, like most asset managers work bankers' hours unless they're just slammed or they got a big drop, right? So most of the time, I did get a property in Arizona literally the day before Easter at like 8 o'clock on Saturday. And I was like, I reached out, I was like, Vanessa, what the hell? Like, I'm going to do this, but like, come on. The day before Easter, like my locksmiths aren't working. I was like, oh gosh. Right. So it's kind of funny, but most of the time it's not going to be at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. These folks have families. These folks have this. But when they do call, like that's really important. As I help a lot of clients place properties, I use the REO network when I don't have coverage with people that I know and stuff there. And here's the thing, as I interview agents, like there's agents that don't show up for the call. And so like for the Zoom call. And so I'll call them and they'd be like, oh, something came up. And I was like, you have to be kidding me. Like, you're asking to join my network and then you don't show up for the call. Like, how can I ever pass a client? Like, I put bold notes and like, look, this person didn't show up. They didn't even tell me they weren't going to show up, that an emergency and stuff came up. So, like, just being available. Look, you can't always be there if you're with a client, but you can shoot a text message. Hey, I'm with a client. Can I call you right back? If it's a landline, right? Like call the number back, see who it is. That's what they're looking for in this REO space, guys, because they can't be hunting people down. These asset managers are managing 400, 500, 600 properties as it gets busier and busier. You cannot be a pain in their ass. Like, I'm just like being fully transparent, like make their life as easy as possible to set yourself up for success.
right. I agree with you. And when taking that call too, you have to be positive and I'll take care, especially if this is your first REO in a long time. And because I realize they're slower now. You unless it's something I understand if you're asking somebody to take a property that's 100 miles away, you're kind of iffy about it. Do I want them to do it anyway? But I don't, the positive attitude when I call someone, I had a situation where an asset manager reached out to me, and they don't do this too often. They usually go to the site, find someone, and reach out. But every once in a while, I'll get an asset manager that says, "Hey, do you know someone that could take some pictures of a commercial property?" I forget where it was, but I went on a search and I found someone that I know. I reached out to her. I said, "Hey, can you help this guy?" And she's like, and she was very like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. She did such a good job that he came back to me. And this doesn't, and I want to hear this about everybody. He goes, she blew me away with all the pictures she took, the extra stats she gave me. She wouldn't take a fee for it. He goes, I was going to pay her for it. She wouldn't take a fee. He goes, if I get anything in that area, I will definitely give it to her because she blew me. And I thought, man, I love hearing that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff you want to hear. And you want to, you know what? I want to do everything I can to get her more business because she made me look good, first of all, and REO Network look good. And that's the type of people that asset managers want to work with, that they're excited about giving you more business. And I'm sure Larry can agree on that.
Absolutely. Right. And this is where, when I work with people like Darren Cottrell from American Destiny, right? Like they did 500 cash for keys in 1 month for a client. They didn't know how
Wow.
they were going to do it, but nobody else could commit to it. And Darren was like, we'll get this taken care of. Right.
Wow.
He's like, Larry, and we're like literally like Jerry Maguire pounding the phones. Hey, can we call in a favor? Hey, can we do this? Look, we don't know if it's going to list it. Like there's only a small fee. It's not going to turn into a listing. Every one of those, that client was so impressed.
Awesome.
Right. And then called Darren back and was like, look, we're changed our mind. We're going to list all of these 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And so then all of those started coming through on that. But again, this is where lots of times you have to do favors. Like what sets you apart from the competition, guys? Because there's no shortage of realtors. There's no shortage of realtors that wants to be fed the amount of business that comes through the REO space. This is where the cream rises to the top, where you set yourself apart, right? Where you merge that REO systematic type business with your traditional marketing and advertising to really like represent. You answer the phone. You don't get complaints that, oh, I can't get a hold of this agent. Like, I don't know if they received my offer, right? Like this is where you have one shot to knock it out of the park.
Right. Right. Yeah. So the positiveness makes a huge effect on me. One other little thing, and this is probably the number one thing that I hear asset managers say they look for on the profile is if you took the time to put a photo on it. I think that's hilarious because a lot of times I think we're kind of like, oh, I don't want my photo on there, or but if it's blank, I've talked to asset managers say I won't even call the ones that are blank, because to me that looks like they didn't take the time to market themselves. So are they going to take the time to market my property? And asset managers are checking to make sure that you are marketing their property correctly with all the pictures and things like that. So take the time to get a nice professional friendly, I always say friendly because you want it to come across that you're easy to work with, but you're professional too. So definitely make sure you have a photo. And then Larry, I'm so sorry, I thought of two other little things that they should have on their profiles.
Yeah, give it to us.
Commercial, and you guys probably know this, commercials rising, REO. So if you do commercial, and if you don't worry about it, that's fine, because commercial is kind of tricky. If you get a cemetery and our piece of land that used to be a cemetery, you got to figure out what I'm going to do with all these bodies or whatever. So it's not always just office buildings and apartments and things like that. Sometimes it's a giant shopping center. So you really have to make sure, do I know what I'm doing? So, but if you do commercial, mention that on the biography, and reverse mortgages too. I'm finding that asset managers are having a hard time finding REO brokers and agents that know how to handle reverse mortgages, because sometimes those are tricky too. But if you do those, put those on there, but don't, if you don't, that's okay. I just want to make sure if you do that it's on there. So those were kind of some new things on there that I noticed. When you join REO Network, when you log in, we do give a list of profile tips and ideas. There's a list of a whole bunch of things that you can put on there, but those are kind of some of my top things to make sure: your photo, a good phone number, REO clients you've worked with. I do think it's a good idea at the end of your bio to put a little personal information. What do you like to do outside of REO? And the reason why I mentioned that is I've had brokers tell me, hey, I got a call from so-and-so because we went to the same college. And I wrote that down on the profiler.
People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And if it's a list of strangers, they're like, oh, like I went to UT, like we must be alike, right? Like, oh yeah, hook them, right? Like, yeah, people build this camaraderie, or fraternities and sororities and different, oh, I'm a part of NRBA. Oh, they are too. Like, man, that means they must be really good, right? Because we think a lot of ourselves a lot of times as well. And yeah, that's how we build this rapport and relationship for sure.
Right. Just a little, I see someone does CrossFit, I'm probably going to call if someone else at 5 a.m. or CrossFit, but at the end you could put like family stuff, college, hobbies. Do you do community service? A lot of people like to go hiking and cooking and things like that. So I think like the last line of that of that bio, it's good to put a little personal information on there, because it makes you more human too. We're not just all the same.
Absolutely. So, guys, REO Network, right? Probably one of the founding REO networks that provided some sort of, national coverage, right? And so this is where, are there other ones? Yes, probably. But this is kind of like Uber or Lyft, right? Like if you show up to the airport, you don't see people being like, oh, I'm going to order a Lyft. Like even if they use Lyft, they don't say that, right? And so this is where first to market starts to gain some market share. And especially there's been some consistency in the leadership with Wendy that's continued to build this for over 22 years. She's at every REO conference, right? She's constantly talking to agents. She's constantly talking to vendors and asset managers, et cetera. And I know a lot of them that actually use the network and stuff as well. So a lot of great things. So there's a free version that
Right.
anybody can sign up for, right? It
Right.
doesn't cost you anything.
It's free. We do screen the applicants for some REO experience before we approve the application. If you don't have that, reach out to me, and I've got a list of ideas. They're just different ways how other brokers and agents have told me how they got started listing REOs. Just over the years, I want to ask, and it's not easy. I talked to one of our member, Derek Beckett in Maryland. He did BPOs for 7 years. Now that's quite a long time, but you know what? He's a big REO broker now. So,
Yeah.
so reach out to me if you don't have that experience yet, and I can give you some ideas on how to do that. So yes, you apply on REO Network. You just go to reonetwork.com, click on apply. Just make sure you click on the application that's for brokers and agents. There's another one that says vendors. That's the one for like contractors, title companies, appraisers, things like that. So the broker and agent one, put all the information on there that we ask for, because if it's missing some of that, then honestly, that's kind of your first test if you can fill out the application. So,
Right. And here's the other thing, guys. If you don't have the actual experience, right? This is where lots of times I tell people, like, look, we'll help people get experience, right? And so maybe there's a mentor in your office, in your team, in your brokerage, somebody at another one that you're doing the weekly inspections and you're doing the BPOs for them for free, right? You're doing it to build your resume, but now maybe you give them a referral fee because they're sitting there guiding you through that process. So there are some different ways, and Wendy might have other things as well, but having somebody like next to you that you form a team or a partnership or something like that will like help you blend your experience and help you get to the finish line a little bit faster as well.
Right. And someone asked, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Someone asked if they haven't listed REOs. They have done it, but haven't done it in a while. The application is going to ask you for a reference on there. So if you can, any way that you can remember who it was you listed for. It does depend on the area too that you're at. Some rural areas were a little bit more lenient on that. So just fill out the application as best as you can, and maybe send me a little email of this is why I did that on there, because it'll give a little bit more heads up on that.
I love it. Now, can we talk? So that's the free version. Like, can we talk about the paid version?
Sure.
Like, because like you said, there's a lot of paid things.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to talk about very many examples. We've had enough in here. Like, man, I think Ed Kowalski said that he signed up 4 months ago and has 3 new clients off of it. Right. So that kind of speaks for itself. What does the paid membership look like? And do you have other examples of success stories and stuff like that as well?
The paid membership is called Premium Partners. So once your application is approved, you can upgrade it to the Premium Partners. And honestly, Larry, reach out to me if you think it's a good idea to do it or not. Because I do kind of look at the area and go, okay, are there even REOs? I don't want you signing up for it if there's no REOs in a certain area. I want people to get something from it. So, do you think it's a good idea that I do it? People know I'm very honest about Yeah, no, I think you should wait. Sometimes there's some areas I have a little list of people that I kind of keep an eye on and think, you know what, you should do it now. If I start hearing more and more brokers getting listings. Now, I know a lot of people like to jump on the premium, before everybody else does. And actually, that is a good idea to do that, because that's how it happened last time. People in 2008 that signed up in 2007, they were the ones that got the listings first. So, but you guys are so sweet. And but yeah, reach out to me if you think it's a good idea to do the premium. It's 600 for $6, so about $100 a month on there. It puts your profile to the top of the search. We don't charge per zip code, so whatever you've listed as your zip codes, under an hour's drive, you'll show up at the top of the search for those. And it's kind of like when you do a Google search on the internet, you tend to go with the top websites first. It's just human nature to start at the top. So we see that those people are viewed about 3 times more often than everyone else that didn't do the premium. And they're also kind of seen as more REO aggressive, more REO experienced. People don't upgrade to the premium unless they're pretty serious about REO. A lot of them, REO is almost all that they do. And I know when I get asked about brokers and agents, I always go to the premium partners first. They're the ones that answer their phone. They're the ones that get back to you. When I go out and promote REO Network, I always tell them to please use our premium partners first. They can contact anybody on our site, but those premium partners are the ones that are the ones that I would trust the most on there. So, I did a video with Eric Frazier, who does The Power Is Now. I have Derek. Yeah, I have Derek Beckett on with me. He's a Maryland premium partner. He kind of goes into who he got clients from. I also have a success story page on the REO network that has a list of testimonials. And those are all people that I went to asking, that came to me and said, "Hey, Wendy, I just got a listing for such and such." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, will you write a little testimonial?" So those are truthful testimonials, and all of them are fine if you want to email them and reach out to them of, how's it been working out for them. So, yeah, so I want you to get leads from it. It's all, like anything, there's not a guarantee, but we try everything you can to get you those leads.
Absolutely love it. I see Dusty is asking, is there a way for them to search for commercial, right? And we talked about this a little bit, Dusty, where you should include that in your portfolio, in your profile, because people are looking for that right now. It's on the rise. And so you want to make sure, because here's the thing, and this is where I think one of the biggest niches is, there's a lot of people that know REO. There's a lot of people that know commercial. There is not a lot of people that have this blended experience of REO and commercial, which is where I'm actually partnering with a lot of commercial agents. And I'm like, look, I have the REO part down. I don't want to learn commercial. Like, let's partner in this particular city. And right, you do all of the legwork and stuff. I will keep driving in the business, and then we will split this however we negotiate and stuff there. So I think that is a big niche and something that could be very yes. We already see the, I was talking with Jeff and Kelly yesterday. They were driving through an abandoned mall, and they were sending me pictures. I actually got a picture, a guy living in the parking lot in a motorhome. He had a lounge chair in California, literally just sunbathing. And I was like, that's the smartest guy in California. He has the most acreage, no neighbors, and it's rent-free. Like, that guy is an absolute genius.
True. Yeah.
So guys, I want to open it up to questions, right? Like, a lot of us in our, in my network specifically, we're very heavily on the default, on the institutional space, right? On working with clients, like not one client that can give me a deal every 7 to 12 years. Not that that's good or bad. I love those clients as well. But one client that could give me 20, 30, 100, X amount of deals every single year has been a niche that we've been focusing on. And I wanted to share with you guys the REO network. One, because I have so much love, respect, admiration for everything that Wendy has built. a lot of my clients, like if they come to me and I don't have coverage and stuff in my personal network, I'm like, look, go to the REO network, right? Like,
Thank you.
because it's one of the foundational pieces, of this business since I've been around in it, and you being first to market, right? Like in what I feel is going to happen is as this election comes nearer, we will see interest rates start to pull back. The Fed has already announced that they will reduce interest rates 3 times this year. This is where I would not be surprised to see home prices go up 5 to 20%, depending on the market area. Because there's all of these people that are sitting on the sideline waiting for interest rates to go down, which I think is a terrible idea because they are going to end up paying a lot more and the interest rate might come down 1/4 of a point, 1/2 a point, etc. Right? So they're going to end up paying a lot more, but we're going to see assets, real estate, stock, crypto go parabolic for a short period. But we've been in this up market since 2009 now. And what goes up always comes back down in every single market. This is where we will see this institutional business. REO, I don't know, have the crystal ball of what it looks like, but this is where you want to be first to market. Like, this is why I wanted to bring you guys this opportunity, because I've seen the success that other people have had on this. So while we have Wendy on, like questions, comments, concerns, anything from you guys that you guys want to hear from Wendy on.
I
I don't
have
know
a
if
quick
the
question.
Yeah.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Kelly.
I love REO Network,
Well,
but
thank you.
anyways, I did not know about the vendors. Are the contractors vetted? Like, are they to ensure that they have insurance, or how does that
They're
work?
not. That's a good question. Most of the contractors I have signing up right now have been referred to by other brokers that, but I would double check on their insurance. And so that's a good question. So they're not screened by me, but yeah, so I would double check on that.
Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Uh-huh.
Hi, this is Karen in New York. Hi, Wendy.
Oh, hi, Kay.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good.
I am just gonna say you have always been the best, and I'm gonna say encourage everyone to really get on REO Network. I've even had the chance to be with you in the booth at 5 Star. And this site has sent me so many BPOs. I've had REOs from us. So I'm very supportive of this.
Aw.
Thank you, Larry, for bringing Wendy on.
Aw, thank you. That's what gets me up in the morning, man. That pumps me up, man. All that makes me want to do is get you more and more business. So that's sweet of you. I did want to mention too, sometimes people are signed up on Clear Capital and they don't realize they're not on REO Network. There is a separate application to apply for REO Network. If you're not sure, always reach out to me, Wendy at reonetwork.com if you have any questions about that.
Can you type that in the chat box there if people want to reach
Yeah.
out? And guys, I just put the link in there as well. Like, if you guys are like at bare bones minimum, right? Like, if you have the experience and stuff like that, I would sign up for the free portal. Like, it's up to you whether you want to do the paid or not. It's not going to affect me at all. Like, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I'm just a supporter. My wife is a part of the network. I'm a part of the network and stuff like that. And so I would never recommend you guys do something that I'm not personally doing myself. And if it didn't bring value to me, I wouldn't have Wendy on here. But hopefully you can hear from the testimonials and what everybody is saying. Like, man, some people have gotten quite a bit of success and stuff from this, which is why I want to share it with you guys, especially with where I see the market going in the near future. Other questions, comments, concerns?
I'm reading all your sweet stuff here. Wow, I would have come on earlier, Larry.
Right? Like the hardest guess. I was like, what? And she's like, well, what am I going to say? I was like, I don't care what you say. Just get on here. We will figure it out.
So I'm big on, I cannot stand long, like boring webinars. And you guys all have to agree with me. So I guess that's what I worry about, being long and boring. So.
No, we will be short, sweet, to the point, add some value to people, and then we'll get out of here. Yes. Anybody else have questions, comments, concerns while we have Wendy? Man,
Yeah, and you
I,
guys can always
I,
reach out to me late. I'm a type of person that thinks of a question later on, so they can always.
I think
Oh, go ahead,
Jeffrey
Jeff.
just
I was just, I was
go
just
for it.
gonna say, no BS. I've been a premium member for over 20 years.
Yes, he
Like
has.
I do it because the ROI on it is ridiculous, right? I mean, $1,200 a year, right? If you go to the conference, I think you can get, I think Wendy gives you a free month if you get it at the conference. But anyway, $1,200 a year. I mean, even if you don't get one the first year, or sometimes the second year, depending on your market. I mean, that's not a lot of money to spend to A, get an REO asset, and B, once you get the first one, you're in their system, right? And you can start
Right.
developing a scorecard, right, and everything. And that's gonna, help you get more from that client and potentially others. And a lot of the referrals and properties I've sold through REO Network, people that have found me on there, are small mom and pop, or they're people that don't have a big list of agents, and they've been 3% listings, and I mean it's just been awesome. So
Thank you,
I
Jeff.
I personally, I know what Wendy was saying. She says, let me know if you want me to look at your market to see if you need to be a premium member. Well, if anybody types in 92648 where I'm at in Huntington Beach, there are like 100 people that are not paid, right?
Mhm.
So I do not want to be one of 100. Even being Jeff Russell, and most asset managers and whatnot know me, they may not even see me there, right? Like Wendy said, they're going to go to the premium because it's just
Mhm.
much easier. So there are only 4 paid premium members in REO Network in my area.
Mhm.
I'm one of the 4, obviously. One of an agent that's in my organization, Rob Grable, is another one, and then there's 2 that I don't even know. So anyway, I'm not
Thank
getting paid to say this. I don't get
Yeah.
anything either. Wendy's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I have your profile up, right? Like when I just typed in,
Yeah.
I didn't know your
Can you
zip
click on
code,
his name?
but I typed in Huntington
Mhm.
Beach, right? And there's Jeff Russell at the top, and then you guys can see all of the other people that are in there, right? Which one stands out more? Well, let me click on Jeff Russell.
Look at that beautiful bio and handsome picture.
Absolutely, right? So a prime example, all of his zip codes, service
Mhm.
areas, etc., and stuff are in there. Like I can't stress for you guys enough. I was on ADR's mastermind call yesterday, and gave everybody the link to get involved with MCM's referral network and stuff in their database. And I was very clear. I was like, make sure that you put all of the zip codes. Like, don't come back and cry to me and be like, they gave this one to the agent and I'm closer. Well, what zip code did you put? Like, if you didn't fill it out correctly, like these asset managers don't know that, right? Like they are not from your area and stuff. So fill it out correctly.
Yeah, I actually have asset managers that use ResNet and Equator. They'll still come to me because I realize you guys have to pay for a lot of the zip codes. So sometimes they're not all in there, but they know they're all on your REO network profile. So you can, they'll go, oh, I didn't realize they service that area or such and such. So when I give them a name, but and then you can also use it if you have an asset manager who goes, hey, do you know anybody in, I don't know, such and such West Virginia? We've got 98% coverage on the site. So you can usually find someone if you want to help them out. I would phone call them and kind of interview the person, say, hey, I got a client that wants to list a property in your area. And so you can use it too. I have a lot of NRBA members, REO broker members that will use REO Network to find in those rural areas.
For sure. Cecilia, you have a question there. What's up?
Yes, regarding institutional sellers, are they requiring additional, I guess, insurances? Like besides the E&O insurance?
Ooh, I'm not noticing that. I haven't had
Okay.
anybody tell me that. Larry, anything that you might
I
know
mean,
on that?
we've sold hundreds in the past couple of years and never been asked for anything other than what we have for E&O and general liability.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Wendy, how are you? It's Robert.
Oh, hey, Robert.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, listen, I also use REO Network because I do a lot of marketing for an online offers platform that's
Okay.
relevant with around NAR and the lawsuit and all that. So instead of go to realtor.com or EXP Workplace, I go right to REO Network because the mindset of the agent that I'm looking for has an REO mindset. And that's who I'm looking for to do our online offers platforms when I get these leads all over the country. So I just wanted to pay you a huge kudos for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me know if you come across any. I came across a poor profile yesterday. The guy had passed away, but his license was still updated on his profiles. That's why I didn't catch it. So let me know if you come across stuff like that, Robert.
Man, I can't even get regular agents to update their damn profile. Like, oh my gosh, like if somebody that's passed can do it, what the hell is wrong with us, guys? Come on.
I was like, how did I not catch this? And I'm like, oh, well, his license is all up till 2025. And anyway, so yeah, that's funny.
That's brilliant, Robert, using that.
I've been on REO Network for 20 years and became premium 2 days ago.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Anything else guys, that we want to pick Wendy's brain on about the market, opportunities, REO Network, anything like that? She's a wealth of knowledge. You guys have her email address in there. If you guys, for some reason, don't want to say it publicly or anything like that, reach out to her and send her an email. If you guys go to any of the conferences, make sure that you stop by her booth and talk to her and stuff as well. She's at every one of them. And I know that's like I see all the people on this call. I know a lot of you guys are at most of these conferences and stuff as well. So.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Ed, thank you for the kind words.
Hey, yeah, no problem. I mean, it's worked out great for me. It's crazy. As we talked and everything about the premium membership, and I've tried so many different, I've been part of, so many different, REO organizations, and it's worked out really well for me. I had a question. So I cover, the Baltimore metro area, but I also cover the Philadelphia area. And I have Clear Capital, profiles for both. And so I'm hoping that we can hook up on the Philadelphia side as well.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll go over that because I have to kind of look so I kind of take those case by case on how far away because asset managers rely on, and I'm just kind of giving an overview, Ed. I'm not attacking you or anything, but when asset managers use REO Network, they're looking for that most local person. And if you have a profile, let's say in Florida, and then you have another one in Oregon, they kind of question the legitimacy of our site. So we'll definitely look at that, Ed, and make sure that see if it'll work.
Yeah, they're driving distance. I mean, it's
okay.
Not,
Perfect.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not out of the ordinary.
Perfect.
We're pretty close to each other. Thanks.
Awesome. Good. That's a good question.
Jeff Russell, what you got, man?
You've said earlier, Wendy, that you could tell, and I guess the back end of the site, how many clicks someone's getting.
Yes.
So could we offline, or email?
Yeah, I can send that to you. It's something I just have internally, and every January 1st, we put it to 0. So yeah, I'm happy. I'll send that to you, Jeff.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
JM.
Jim?
JM, you have your hand up. Do you have a question? Okay, maybe not. All right. Anybody else? JM, if you have anything, go ahead and speak up. You have your hand up there, but I'm going to lower.
Maybe it's a high five.
Yeah,
there you go. That's funny.
All right, guys. Anything else for Wendy or anybody else? Well, guys, I hope that this added a massive amount of value for you guys. Hopefully you guys build a relationship and stuff with Wendy. She's a wonderful person. Make sure that you sit down, you reach out to her, connect with her, a wealth of information and stuff like that. Wendy, thank you so much for being on, adding massive value and stuff like that.
Good.
I will get you the recording if you want to use any of the content and stuff like that down the road. Feel free to. And guys, go out there and crush it this week. If you need anything, call, text, or email me. Have a great week. And next Friday, we will have Dave Detman on, and we will be talking about, like here in real estate, it's really important. It's not how much money we make, it's how much money we keep. He is one of my financial strategists that helps me make as much and keep as much money as possible. What kind of things should real estate agents, independent contractors have right? To reduce tax brackets, to leverage, to start creating wealth for the same dollars and stuff that you're already making. So it's something that's really dear to me. And I want you guys to get as much value out of that as possible. So if you're interested in, you know, the different loopholes that are available, the tax laws and stuff that you should be taking advantage of, and what kind of things that you should set up, make sure that you're back here next Friday, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I will talk to you guys soon. But I love you guys. I thank you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Wendy. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.